Evening, everybody. We're back with another live stream, and as always, I'm here with the girl on pastry, so and fan on the floor, and so on. So yeah, just briefly before we get into the main topic of the stream, I will get the match card set up. Sean, they've got a bit of breaking news. Saraya, formerly Paige, is now re-signed with WWE.
Hmm.
That just happened before we came on the stream. So give me your thoughts on that. We'll get this up.
Yeah, I could. I had there was rumors going around for a little while, and I think even CM Punk himself was talking about it in an interview about how, like, working with like some of the talent and stuff. And I'm sure he
Yeah.
mentioned Paige. That was just in my imagination. I don't know, but yeah, no. I mean, it's been how long since she's been in WWE? I want to say like 10 years or something like that. Maybe
Yes,
maybe.
10 years or so. Right,
Right.
I've got the match card up. I just need to remember how to share it and stream it because it's been a while since I used it
Well,
feature.
it's
So
probably time last year, wasn't it, when we did this? Or 2 years ago, I think, when we last did it.
yeah,
Yeah. I
so
know.
eh, so WrestleMania 42 share screen. Why you not sharing? Can you see that alright, sir? On is it up on
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, that's up there. That's up there. I've got mine. I've got one like shared on my own screen as
Yeah.
well, just in
And
case. But
also, briefly before we get into this, I would just like to say congratulations to Angel Hayes and Dad Bill on receiving their European tryouts. Angel Hayes has wrestled under the WWE banner before under the now defunct NXT show. She wrestled WWE alumni Isla Dawn on the episodes, and Sean knows I'm a big Isla Dawn fan as well. But Angel Hayes is up there, and she's probably the most talented Scottish wrestler at the moment, and I hope to God they actually do something with Alba Fire. She did get a rare outing on the WWE World in the WWE World matches last night, but the outcome is kind of obvious because Tatum Paxley put her NXT North American title on the line, and it's kind of it was kind of obvious the as Paxley defends it in a casket match against Mariah I forget what her gimmick name is. Apologies, but yeah, that was kinda obvious that Paxley was going to retain the belt, considering on the next episode she defends the North American Championship in a casket match. But it was nice to see Alba actually wrestle as opposed to being in a managerial role. But back to the I'll get back to the screen, and we'll get into the night on matches. So the first match on night on a WrestleMania, Sean, as obviously Logan Paul Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISO was accompanied by Paul Heyman, obviously, because of the vision up against the Usos and the guy that's on the front on my t-shirt tonight, early night,
Yeah.
and we are here to break down the night one and night two matches, but just briefly though, oh Sean, give me your thoughts on Angel Hayes and Daz could be invited to tryouts for their upcoming European tour. Because I know you will have heard myself talk about them on the channel on occasions.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't really know enough about it to talk about it. To be honest, all I know is that
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I don't really
Alright, so
follow
we'll
that much. Yeah, sorry.
Alright, okay, so we'll get into the first match, guys. And before we get into that, guys, I've got all set up um on screen. It's will Elder Rock show up at the WrestleMania 42 type on in the chat if you yes type in the chat if no, type 3 in the chat if you're unsure. It's just to get you guys involved. But anyway, back to this. So Sean, who do you think's going to win in our first match? The Vision up against Knight and so it's just a standard 6-man tag. There's no elimination. It's just straight pinfall. Oh,
Well, I think as WWE has seemed to recently really be wanting to push in, there's two YouTubers in this fucking match. Sorry, pardon my French. So couple that with the Usos. Honestly, I couldn't give one iota of a crap about this match. I'm afraid. If I was to like have to like choose, I'd probably go with the Vision because I think they're hyping up ISO Speed quite a bit. I know on Raw they did that big sort of training montage sequence. So they're trying to get him, at the forefront of this feud. You had the whole your favorite wrestler at the moment, Danhausen, cursing him. So I think once he wins, that will break the curse. I guess what they've been doing so far. I think there's
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Shockmaster 2.0. I wondered I wondered when I was going to get that. Um, into the stream. That's my nickname for the Anhausen. I should probably get that trademark to my co-host on the stream. Will be stealing that as well. But no. But for me, I think that because the us hasn't been lifted I think it'll be early night and the Usos picking up the victory. But I also think maybe after the match there could be some dissension with Jay and the um and the other two guys and his team because if you think about it though, it's just Jay so on the edge of the new sort of wanting to what him him song for the shows have just it's changed and they've just it's changed it's just used till and it's now just us. So yeah, so for me that just screams at Jerusalem turn heel, but also as well you could maybe flip it the other way because Heyman was in the ambulance a couple couple of weeks ago, and he had a night driving the ambulance, so maybe early in the night on heel, but like I can't imagine that I can't imagine that the shows an early in the idle job here, which would be the correct decision. So I'm going to go with early night now. So it's because the shows are still some one and the some one still hold lot of power in the company. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to go with the baby faces. What are your thoughts on what I've said here, Sean?
Well, I think what a lot of what you said is part of the reason why I think they will lose, because I think something will happen between one of the Uso, probably Jay, and LA Knight, which will then lead to the Vision getting the win, and then I think that then
Yeah,
whoever turns heel.
yeah,
I know Jay's been on the sort of cusp of turning heel recently. I know there was that podcast video released like in the last couple of days, and he just absolutely lost it with the host. I'm sure it was a work, but he just went completely apeshit and started beating him up and stuff like that because he couldn't take like criticism. So I just
yeah,
think, and also I think maybe Solo's words the other night on Raw where he said, you're still, you're letting this family down by hanging around with this clown referring to LA Knight. So
yeah,
I've got a sneaking suspicion that will all lead to some sort of miscommunication. I Show Speed will probably end up getting the pin on whoever, and then I think that will then lead to some sort of fallout at the end of that match, and then it will be like, holy shit, because you know the match just as it is, I don't think it's a great way to open WrestleMania. I think you need something to be like, oh crap, right, a moment or
see,
something to be whoa, because there's
see,
nothing on
it's
the
a
line. The tag match at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
See, it's the but WWE will come out with the same bollocks they usually do, going, oh, but we've always had celebrity
Yeah.
involvement at WrestleMania. Then you have Triple H, or sorry, Paul Levesque, as he now likes to be known, because we
Paul
can't
Levesque.
ha- because we can't have a semblance of if anymore, but that's besides the point. But yeah, they'll say, oh, WWE's always had celebrity involvement, etc. I don't enjoy that aspect of it either, Sean. But as as long as it's on Netflix, I can kind of see them having more celebrity involvement,
Yeah.
and even particularly on the next pay-per-view as well. But we'll get into that when we'll get into that eventually. But yeah, so the second match on the card is Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. Like I'm kinda into this match because I like both Arthur and Jerome McIntyre, but see all with the um different names for no disqualification match. He's like unsanctioned and street fighting stuff. Can they not just pick like can they not just pick a name like no disqualification and just stick to it? What's the difference between that and a no human? It's just basically a storyline speak, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, what's the other one? No holds barred, extreme
Yeah,
raw match, last man standing. Okay, that's a little bit different, but it's still basically no disqualification. But also
yeah,
the whole thing about unsanctioned match just annoys me because Yeah, okay. So the whole unsanctioned means right. The company aren't signing off on this, so it's not
Yeah,
an official. It's not an official match. So whoever wins doesn't really win. If you're going by like the actual meaning of
yeah,
unsanctioned, doing it with boxing or MMA or whatever. So it's like okay, unsanctioned. Right, we wipe our hands of this. You know, a bit like the was it Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn back last year? I think they had an unsanctioned match.
yeah. That was that was the elimination chamber in Montreal, but we still haven't seen Kevin on since.
No, sadly not. And yeah, and so it's like it's unsanctioned. You won't have anything to do with it, but you'll still have your full entrance. You know what I mean? And it'll be just as official. It'll be a normal match, but they'll just be like, all right, whatever you can get away with anything. So yeah, just call it a hardcore match, man, or no DQ. Do you know what I mean? Because that's exactly what it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but to me, yeah, I think Jacob Fatu takes this because I've heard the rumours that Roma McIntyre's of shooting a movie or
yeah.
something like that, and Jacob needs a big victory to propel him into the main event. So those two scenarios I'm going with if Jacob Fatu. How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm going with Jacob as well for pretty much the same reasons you gave, mate. I know Drew's off to film Highlander, the Highlander remake, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Yeah,
I don't normally like remakes, but if you got him and Henry Cavill in the same movie, it's going to be badass. So, yeah, I know. I don't think he's off for too long. I think the schedule's quite light, but yeah, I think you write him off for a bit. Jacob then moves on to. I mean, looking at the SmackDown like roster at the moment. I mean, maybe Randy Orton if like it's revealed that he was the one that kicked Jacob all those months ago. Possibly, I'm not
yeah,
sure. Um,
hmm
yeah, but I'm going to go with Jacob. I see the thing is with this, even though it will be a good match, I'm still sticking with, and we can talk about this as we go down to the main event. Being that I'm not a fan usually of multi-man matches, I still think I would have preferred these two with Randy and Cody in the kind of fatal four way that was going to be
yeah,
that
same here.
if because you could have had both of them interact. You know, Jacob and Cody had quite a sort of a vicious match back. Was it Saturday night's main event? Was it? I can't remember the pay per view name.
Yeah, Saturday night's main
Yeah,
event. Yeah,
and it kind of just started. It didn't even start properly. They just came. They just brawled up and down the arena, and I think
yeah,
there's unfinished business there. And also, Drew McIntyre cost Randy Orton a match against Aleister Black, and that was left untied afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but they've done what they've done, and these two, I think, are going to just put on a old school, just slobber knocker, as good old JR used to say. So yeah, it
Yep,
should be an entertaining.
and I'm really looking forward to this match. This
Mm,
is one of the matches on the first night that I'm kind of looking forward to. The first
yeah,
match, if it didn't, the first match um, doesn't really get me excited, but the second match kind of feels a bit more exciting. And
yeah,
I really do feel that these are two of the best workers in the company. You don't need any of this celebrity bullshit involvement. And as we have seen, on speaking of shite matches,
right.
the irresistible forces Nia Jackson with Ashel Agent up against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss up against Ida Valkyria and Bayley against the Bella and although Nikki Bell is injured, and I've heard that that's where your age will fit in. I'm not sure if that'll actually. I'm not sure if that'll actually be a good idea, considering the kayfabe history between Page and the Bell is you
Yeah.
have to keep some sort of semblance of kayfabe alive. So I don't know. So I don't really know if I'm keen on their but I think Nikki Bell is out injured, and I think that could be a of adding Page to the WrestleMania. But in terms of who I think will win, I think it'll be Valkyria and Bale that will and because I've said to this in my past videos, they need to do something to kind of make it up to those two for last year's WrestleMania. So in
Yeah.
a sense, this is them doing something right by the and like the it is a stable for horses. I think Ash is the most talented
Oh
out
yeah.
of her and Jax. To be honest, I'm not a fan of Jax at all. So she needs to kind of branch out and say same with Alexa and Charlotte. I'm not a fan of Charlotte, and I think that seems ran its course. I don't know about you. What do you think,
Well,
Sean?
interestingly enough, on my match card on the Wikipedia I've got, it actually says triple threat tag team match for the women's tag team championship, and the Bellas aren't listed. So there's some sort of like announcement has been made that they're officially not in the match. I mean,
Yeah,
it's going to be better without them anyway, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I would, but even if there are in it, I'm gonna agree with you again. Look at this. We're agreeing on most things so far. Look at that, and we can still have a normal
yeah.
conversation.
That's how they irritate. To be honest. But yeah, but Bailey and Ida should actually come out with and here the
Yeah,
rest of the teams don't really do an awful lot for me, but I think that Ashley Agent is the more talented out of her and Jackson.
yeah,
She's also getting married to one of my favourites in the
yeah,
Oster, but we'll get to him in a little bit because he's on night. Oh, but the next match on the card is AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and and I think we'll see a title change. I'm going with Becky Lynch I'm going with Becky Lynch to get the title back because the reason why I say that if they were going to have AJ Lee get the victory at the if they were going to have AJ Lee get the victory at WrestleMania, they would have put the title on her at the WrestleMania as
yeah.
opposed to the Elimination Chamber. I don't know what you think. What are your thoughts? Because and I also think as well she's been a bit of a failure as champion. I don't know about you, but what do you think?
Yeah, but just before I go along, I've just got a message from Harry saying he's commenting along, but I can't see the chat, so I don't know if you can
All
highlight
right, right,
something or not. If
all right. I'll put it up on. I'll put it up on screen.
Nice
Uh,
one. Just because I have no idea what he's saying. He's just messaging me going, I'm commenting, I'm chatting along. Um, but yeah, again,
yeah. So he says.
yeah,
Jacob and Fatu should be a hard or McIntyre for him. I don't think that's going to happen, Harry, based on what we've said.
yeah.
Um,
I would obviously want Drew to win, but just logic dictates that I think Jacob's going to win. But I do agree with him there where he said it should be the opener. I was thinking that actually as you were
yeah,
talking.
should be the opener.
It's
Yeah, I agree.
it's got such a
Um,
it.
So then we get to his comment that the odd champs retain. See, I don't think they do because I think they will want to kind of make it up to
Yeah,
Eno either. Because that was a really a shitty thing to do to be Ale
yeah.
Emo last year. So yeah,
Look,
um,
said I think Lash there's gonna be a couple of breakups because Lash is like you say needs to sort of break out on her own. She's had enough time now, I think, to sort of hone
yeah,
her craft and stuff like that. And you've seen what she can do in terms of like the strength. So that's going to be one of those things where when whoever turns on the other, she's going to show how strong she is by beating the crap out of Nia Jax. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and then Charlotte and Alexa, I think that's inevitable to end quite soon because I mean they're both quite egotistical. So it's worked so far, but I think it'll end up being Charlotte turning heel on Alexa at some point.
yeah,
And yeah, I agree with both of you. I think Becky retains purely because AJ's not going to be around that much. So she's not
yeah.
like going to be on TV every week, unlike Punk. I don't know if it's something to do with her contract that she signed, but like she's only actually wrestled what 3 matches since she came back officially.
Yeah, but so much for her saying it's a full-time
Yeah,
contract. Because Jeremy
yeah.
Ember on the Raw as well, she said, "Oh, I'm back full-time," and it's like,
Right.
no, you're not.
No,
No,
she's
you're
backstage
not.
full time. She's backstage full time, but she's not wrestling full time. I think they just did. They gave her the title to give her a moment. She
Yeah,
had
but that doesn't. Yeah, but that doesn't fucking count.
no,
I'm sorry, it's still
no. I agree,
kind
mate.
of
Mate.
a part-time contract. That doesn't fucking count. That's like, and that's like going to a could a Chelsea game, going to the final game of the season, going to see them get the trophy, but you don't turn up half the
Yeah,
season to the
yeah.
other games. Fuck off with that
Sounds a bit
shit.
like
Do you know what I mean?
Roman Reigns' contract, really, doesn't it? um,
Oh,
so
oh,
for the
shots fired.
yeah. No, I like heel Roman, and which might lead into later on. But again, it's one of those ones where, in a similar fashion to Punk, I think his wife, ironically, is the opposite of him. It's like she has the title, but she's only what? Yeah, she defended it against Bailey relatively recently, I think, and then it was a decent match. But yeah, I'm going with Becky, and also there's more options. There's some more interesting feuds that you could have with Becky. You could have Becky and Io. You could have I don't know Becky and
Yeah.
who else is on Raw? Becky. Yeah. So
What else is on the
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
uh,
fuck.
what's her name? Maxine Dupree, but then they've already wrestled so many times before.
Yeah,
Um,
but she's improved a lot, but she's wrapped in the feud with
yeah,
Natalia, which is a
yeah,
lot of shite anyway. I'm going back to the match card. I'll put up Harry's comment as we go through, as Sean makes his next point when we get to it. Where did I put the match card? Yeah, so we've done that. So
yeah.
it's Seth Rollins up against Gunther. Or this is kind of a difficult situation because both need the victory. You've got Rollins is just coming back from an injury, but you're trying to build up or is this unstoppable sort of on or
Yeah.
heels? So either way, you're gonna have somebody coming out looking like a chump. To be honest, I don't really
Well,
get this match at all, but I'm gonna go with Gunther just based on the way he's been out up because they're is they're treating him like an actual or and he's already getting a favour from oh Heyman, so maybe that ties into his victory. But yeah, it's not an ideal. It's not an ideal. It's not an ideal match to have on the card because both could really do with the victory. But I'm going with Unf. I don't know about you, Sean.
yeah, I'm going with Gunther as well. I think out of the two, I think Rollins can take a loss easier than Gunther can at the moment,
Yeah,
especially because you've got the looming threat of Bron Breakker, who I think will actually
yeah,
cost Rollins the match, because apparently he's cleared, but they just couldn't find. They at the last minute they decided to put these two together because they didn't know if he was cleared or not. So I reckon Bron Breakker gets involved. So you carry on the sort of the undefeated streak of Gunther for now. That then will propel Rollins and Breakker going over the summer in a feud.
hash,
Yeah,
ha-
I know Harry saying
hashtag,
Gunther's a boring lump.
hashtag,
Uh,
and so Harry, you're back. Different list remotely messing. But yeah, I totally disagree with your comment here, Harry.
so do I.
Gunther's, I think Gunther's probably one of the more legit people when they're all and
Yeah,
the way that they've built him up's been good, especially tapping out on Cena, because that hardly ever happened.
yeah,
I think Angle is the only person to make him tap other than Unfa. So it just shows you how big a deal that was. So yeah,
yeah. I think I like Gunther. I think he's a throwback to like the 70s and the 80s, but I like that because there's not a lot of wrestlers like that. He kind of reminds me of like William Regal, like his sort of style as well. And he's well. I know on the last stream I said that Gunther's one of those heels that doesn't need to cheat to still be a bastard, but then he ended up cheating
yeah.
against AJ Styles, which really annoyed me because I thought, why are you making him cheat? He was doing fine, just being like the old foreign git. But yeah, I think Gunter can have a match against anyone, and it will be good. Do you know what I mean? Like he could make bloody uh, Kit Wilson look good. I'm not a fan of Kit Wilson, but yeah, he can make
I
anyone look.
really I really enjoy Kit Wilson's gimmick though, it's a bit of
Uh,
fun.
no, it's just annoying. It's just for me. I know
Oh,
I'm one of those.
oh,
It's just
fuck off, man.
oh, it's just
Seriously?
I can't tolerate it. Can't, yeah, just what I say. What I said to you before about the older I get, the less tolerant for shit I can take. Do you know what I mean? So
Oh
uh,
my god.
you and Danhausen know. You know what I mean? You're not. It's a similar kind of.
Alright, alright, and I'm only looking joking, guys. Sean's entitled to his opinion even though he's
Even though he's
wrong,
wrong.
but we've
Even though he's wrong. Yeah.
already established to that. Here's a match I'm really looking forward to. It's Stephanie McGill versus Organ. I mean, for obvious reasons, we all know why. But I think Stephanie McGill will retain here because I think our ops and will end up Austin of Morgan and jump Dominic Mysterio at the inside and or Oxan and Dominic can kind of go off and have their own relationship because I think Dominic's kind of like a womanizer type character because they've already established them as that, so maybe Oxa and his next contest and like I've gets distracted then Stephanie has the victor in this match. What do you think,
And you
Sean?
are.
Because
I,
I think Stephanie retains, but I do enjoy the people both of them like um, Organ especially. As you know, but we won't get into that right now.
yeah, I'm actually shocked, Daniel, because I was certain you were going to go for Liv because of obvious reasons as well. But I'm actually going to go with Liv to win. I think that she's won, and this doesn't always mean you're going to win the title, but you know they booked her quite strongly. She's won the Royal Rumble. She's taken it really like she's taken it to the next level in terms of personal. I don't like this. I don't like the music video that she did, but they've obviously given her a music video because they really want to push her. That's my.
Oh,
That's my. That's my.
I
Now,
did I did, I did for the, for the different reasons.
well,
Like,
okay. If it was, I like it when it. I like the video. Just mute the music. Just no, terrible. Um, and I think it can make the dynamic a bit more interesting with Stephanie chasing Liv, and then you've got the dynamic of Roxanne and Raquel kind of
yeah,
eyeing up the title that Liv's got now. Do you know what I mean? Because I think
yeah,
we'll get to another Judgment Day centered match later, but I don't think they're quite ready to completely implode the Judgment Day just yet. So I
yeah,
think there's going to be like a sort of triple threat kind of thing because Roxanne's going to think, well, actually, I could probably beat you. And Raquel's like, has come on leaps and bounds in the last year, and she's probably thinking,
yeah,
hang on, I can beat you.
you can, yeah, she's really improved. But
Yeah,
I think that's the case for all of the Judgment Day, even JD
yeah,
McDonough as well, isn't
yeah,
uh, so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's
I agree.
he's talented as well. I know Sean's not a fan of the Judgment Day, so
Well, I think just when you think they've taken it too far and it's gone on too long, they have. I'll give them this. They have kind of introduced more like intriguing elements, which makes me like think, okay, maybe they can carry it on for a bit longer. Obviously, Finn's no longer part of it, and I think that's the first step. I think with Liv winning the title, you've then got the intrigue of okay, well, the other two women are clearly good enough to hang with her now, or at
yeah,
least on par. Like maybe that's going to cause even more dissension because she could even turn around to Raquel, like Raquel could be like, okay, well, you did say that you would give me the first shot, and maybe she doesn't, and I think that would be a bit more interesting. And then again, and this isn't Stephanie Vicare's fault, but I just think the way she's been booked as champion hasn't been great. Like I think Liv has kind of elevated that in the last month or so.
but see, but see, to be honest, just to counter that argument, our very first sort of opponent was Nikki Bella as
Well, yeah,
well, so it wasn't
true.
that. So there's always going to be her starting off in the back foot, and you've got
Yeah.
Nikki Bella on the opposite side of the ring. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Oh yeah, and like I say, it's got nothing on Steph because I think she's amazing, and you know
yeah,
she's a proper like metalhead as well. And I wish they hadn't changed her bloody music to that god awful music she's got now. But
Oh, that's shite.
that's just, you know, she I think recently she came out and said, "Oh, if I could choose my own entrance, it'd be Head Crusher by Megadeth," which is fucking great song. And I'm like, okay. I was like, you know,
Now
I
from
want Stephanie to win.
now from yeah, the big Guns N' Roses with Welcome to the Jungle. That would be my theme song personal. He had
Oh yeah,
it
yeah, but
to.
yeah,
I choose that for my theme. But anyway, we'll get back to the art because you don't want to hear me chat a show night. And
yes, we
so
do.
yeah, so Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with and Pat McAnee at ringside.
Brother.
So so obviously I'm going for I'm going with Randy Orton to get the victory here in the WWE Championship match because of a tag match being heavily rumoured for backlash with Mick Foley and Randy Orton up against Cody Rhodes and Jelly Hero, so that's heavily rumoured to be the main event of Backlash. So in order for it to get to that stage, you kind of have to put the belt on Randy Orton.
Mm.
And I know Sean absolutely hates Randy Orton, but you see where I'm going,
Yeah,
Sean,
I
because
completely.
it has to be that way in order for it to make sense.
Yeah, and you know, my sort of like dislike for Orton aside, even if you know, even if they went the original route where it was just the two of them, I still
Yeah,
probably would have gone with Randy Orton because I think, you know, they've got this thing where, oh, it's the veteran chasing a certain numbered title, just like last year. You know, funny how
yeah,
like things kind of like copy and paste themselves. Last year it was Cena, this year it's Randy Orton.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I think there was no need to insert Twat McAfee or Pat McFanny, as you've just said to him, into this.
yeah,
This was a purely TKO decision because for some reason, oh well, I say for some reason, Ari Emanuel, you know, the owner of TKO or one of the owners, is Pat McAfee's agent. So he thought, well, I want Pat McAfee to be involved in WrestleMania, yay! Um, and so that's
I
why they
just,
decided at the last minute to put him in rather than just let the two guys with 20 years of history together just do that because I
I
think it's
just think, I just, I just think Pat McAfee's a bit of a wanker, to be
yeah,
honest with you, but that's
yeah.
just me. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't even like him when he was just on. I didn't like him when he was on commentary. I thought he was irritating as shit. I didn't, you know. I think Corey Graves is way like he got shafted for a good while. Corey Graves because they thought, yeah, Pat McAfee's the better commentator than you, but he's not. And then he buggers off to do his like American football stuff anyway.
yeah,
And now you've got him here cosplaying as the final boss, and it's just like, nah, it's just not the same. You just haven't got it, you know. I can understand, you know, there's certain messages that he put across that were like, you know, is the creative isn't quite as good as it was, you know,
yeah, but
long for the
yeah,
era.
but then he started calling fans the usual, arts
Yeah,
mm,
yeah,
arcs and idiots and stuff, and I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you. I don't really like when the wrestlers say, "Oh, you're just a bunch of arcs." It's just
yeah,
so easy and so cheap, to be
yeah,
honest. I just did the carrot. So anyway, guys, we're moving on tonight. No, uh, Obafemi versus Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Sad I don't see Obafemi getting in here because he's had far too much of the offence, and unfortunately for that reason, I'm going with Lesnar. Or it should be the other way about, but because of the offence Oba has had, I said that in my raw review and my latest raw review about the offence. All on Oba's side, and that's why I think Oracle beat Oba in the singles match. How about you, Sean?
I'm going with Oba. I've just got this feeling that they want to push him to the moon, and
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying that like Lesnar hasn't really got any sort of offense, and you saw that with when the Undertaker lost the streak. There wasn't really the build up was more sort of in Undertaker's
yeah,
favor. However, Drew got all the offense against Lesnar in the build up, and look what happened there. He ended up beating him.
yeah,
I think just the way there's something about the way Lesnar has been interacting with Oba, and I really do think that he likes this kid, and I think he will.
yeah,
You don't normally see Lesnar selling as often as you do for someone unless he's really into it and he's into the opponent. And
yeah,
I just think that this year could be Brock's last year, and the way I see
yeah,
it going down is that similarly to the way Lesnar and Rhodes, the SummerSlam match from like 2 years ago, where Lesnar basically kind of broke the fourth wall a bit and lifted Cody's arm up, pointed at him, and was like, "This is the guy." Blah blah blah. I think a similar thing's going to happen here. I think this is your perfect opportunity to create the next star. Do it now. Don't wait and do it like 6 months down the line and give him his win back. Do it now because I think the way that the whole, like you were talking earlier about the Heyman and Gunther scenario, I think
yeah,
Lesnar will do a similar thing to Oba where he'll show him some respect. He'll come out because he's advertised for the Raw after Mania as well. This is
yeah,
my cool theory. I think he'll come out. I think he'll acknowledge Oba and be like, "You got me, kid. This is it now. I'm done." Then Gunther
yeah,
comes out. No, 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 no. You're not done until I'm finished with you. And I think that
yeah,
then lends to the
yeah.
that then leads to the SummerSlam match. I've just got a good feeling. I think they're going to go with Oba here. I could be completely wrong, but I think Oba's got this.
Yeah,
There's someone behind him now.
um, yeah, I do actually see where you're coming from. Um, so the next match on the card is Penta versus Von Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rey Mysterio versus Rusev. I'm going with enter to the attain here so that he gets a big victory at the WrestleMania. He's just come off the back of a brilliant title defense against Viking. And Triple A, of war. So I'm going with Penta to retain because I think they see the value in it. To be honest, if he, I don't know what you think, Sean.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I'm I'm not I'm kind of 50-50 between him and Javon Evans right now
yeah,
because I think they're really building up Javon as well as like the next big kind of high flyer. They feature him quite a lot. They've got him. It gives me bloody motion sickness, but they've got him do like the Stu the Cam guy where he's doing this and all that sort of stuff, and you
yeah,
know I think they're gonna give him like a massive spot with the. He's probably going to do like an OG cutter from like the top on one of the fucking ladders or something. So, but then I see
yeah,
your point where Penta hasn't really had the title that long, and I think he deserves a good reign with it. So, if I had to pick, I would probably say Penta retains, but I wouldn't be surprised if Javon wins.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be both wrong in a
Harry
bloody Rusev.
and Harry's in agreement with us.
Oh, what about?
Harry's in agreement with us about the ladder match.
Yeah.
Um, he he thinks Penta should retain. He also
Mhm.
said Javon's been pushed too hard. Interesting theory.
It,
Um,
yeah, I
he
think you might
al-
be too early for him, maybe, but yeah, that was my thing. It was,
oh
uh,
Jesus, he does, and oh Jesus, he really despises Unfucked, isn't he? Because that's like
yeah.
the second comment in a row. Uh,
Well, the thing is, I think if and when that happens, and that leads into another reason why I think Over beats Brock is because Brock kind of you can't have Brock and Gunther both heels. I think Brock is going to be the face in that match, and the way he does that
yeah,
is by showing respect to Oba, and then you've got Gunther who's going to be like,
yeah,
"Oh, you're an old man. You can't take. You can't hack it anymore. You got beat by this 27-year-old kid sort of thing." So, I think that I don't think it'll be a very long match to be honest between those two. But
yeah,
yeah, no, I think they've been planning this match for like nigh on 3-4 years now, and it just hasn't happened
yeah,
for well, obvious reasons in certain aspects we won't go into, um, but yeah, no, Gunther's is like Marmite, either love him or you hate him. I personally really like him.
yeah. I do as well. He's probably, as I said a few moments ago, he's probably one of the more legitimate people on the roster in
Yeah,
terms of the way he's been out up. The next match in the card, though, I have an interesting theory here. Um, I'm going with Sami Zayn to retain, but
mm,
if the caveat of a double on, to be honest, because Sami is sounding like X-Pac from 2000 a bit, and like
yeah.
obviously Trick's getting these Dell or rowdy reactions, so I'm going with Sammy's into the 10. He's got that little you or or however you say that name in his corner. Or
Little
Trick, he
poke.
doesn't need that idea in his corner. He's charismatic enough in my
Yeah.
opinion, but what is your opinion on this match, Sean?
So I think it's going to have a kind of Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 19 vibe about it, where I
Yeah,
reckon, but in the kind of in reverse sort of thing. I reckon
yeah,
Trick beats Sami Zayn. I think Trick wins.
yeah,
Sami Zayn goes to shake his hand and then kicks him in the nuts, and then that's your heel turn done. Because
yeah,
I think the double turn there. I think with the momentum that Trick's got right now, and Sami Zayn has been being actively booed, and he's even acknowledged it. I think just go with the grain. Trick's been
yeah,
getting amazing reactions. He's proved in such a short amount of time he can go on the mic. He's decent in the ring. He's got a very much like we were talking about last night, like a Booker
yeah,
T vibe about him, with a little bit of Ric
yeah,
Flair midged in there in terms of the personality. Um,
yeah,
Little Boat, or whatever his name is, I don't give a flying fuck about him. I
yeah,
think maybe he'll side with Sami Zayn or some shit. I don't know, but I think Trick wins because then you can get Carmelo Hayes back in the four with that. Because I think it's a disgrace that
yeah,
Carmelo Hayes
true.
is in this match, to be honest. But considering
Yeah,
how
same here.
yeah, considering how good he's been as the United States champion, and then all of a sudden it's
It's
like
all the it's all like a celebrity involvement that's kind of undercutting the mid card. You want to showcase your mid card the wrestlers so they've got something to strive for in the
yeah,
future, and having all these celebrities is undercutting. Don't be surprised if we see Carmelo Hayes retain the Andre the Giant battle Royal trophy, he'll be a two-time winner of that trophy, because remember that match is on SmackDown tonight, guys. So yeah, so I imagine he'll be in the Andre Battle Royal again, which he shouldn't be. He should be on the main WrestleMania card, in my opinion. But that's
Yeah.
by the by.
Yeah, because the Andre the Giant Battle Royal did so much for him last time, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just at the end of the
Yeah,
day, it's just like I think we talked about this on the last stream as well. It's like if there was some kind of incentive to win it, other than okay, you've got the prestige of Andre the Giant's name, which is fair
uh,
enough. But like if it was kind of if they did it where it was kind of like a money in the bank kind of situation where if you win it, you get a shot at our title. Doesn't have to be the World Heavyweight Championship. It can be the US, IC, whatever. Just a bit more at stake rather than just just throw a load of people who can't get on the card on the Friday night beforehand. And I just think Carmelo Hayes deserves so much better because he's carried that mid card division on SmackDown for months, and now he's just like he should have been in the they should have made it a triple threat, but hey ho. But I think like I say, I think Trick wins, and then Sammy just goes completely ape shit after the match, and that's your actually heel turn cemented. I think for Sami Zayn because like I said to you when we were chatting on Messenger last night, Daniel, he just this whole kind of I'm going to win a
yeah.
world champion and be the like the ultimate everyman's kind of it's played out by now. So
To
yeah,
be fair, if they were going to do it, they would have done it in 2022, but because they brought Cody Rhodes back into the
yeah,
fold and with Odie, I think that ship sailed now, to be honest. I don't know, don't know if you feel the same, but uh, yeah,
yeah,
that's where I'm at with that. And like, by the way, I'm not actually so agging off Sami Zayn, as I've seen the guy wrestle live,
yeah,
during a certain pay-per-view that I
yeah.
always mention about
Which
nearly
one was that again?
every video. But yeah, I've seen him wrestle. I've wrestled live. I sat weekend with if the Ludwig Kaiser the art match that I'm always
Yeah,
is telling you about that they should have actually recorded, but they never recorded it, which was
yeah,
a what a shite, because they've got the WWE all channel, so there's no excuse for that. So that should have been
exactly.
recorded. They uploaded to the WrestleMania even sort of purple, sort of or out in New York, right in the middle of Times Square.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
so yeah. So I should, yeah, so like I actually did give that a watch, this afternoon.
Yeah,
So I've seen some, in the majority of fans haven't actually seen, which is a rarity. I've actually seen that in its entirety. To be honest, it's just a load of enhancement matches and
yeah,
promos, but yeah, it's nice to have a side back. Hopefully WWE have earned from them mistakes and actually ape some of the newer arc matches go on forward, because that would Kaiser, Sami Zayn actually is a lot better as a dark match than when they did it on TV. Like a couple of weeks after, or like I'm sure I've told you that before. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sadly it wasn't meant to be. So WWE, you gave her kind of a dates for not recording that match because is it something that I'll only remember from memory rather than actual teaching? And Sean will be like, I don't remember this match years
Yeah.
from now, and he'll be and he'll be trying to get me sectioned, but it did actually, it did actually happen. Trust me, I was there in the arena. It's just
Mm,
there's,
mm, mm.
it's just there's no footage of it.
If you say so, Daniel. If you said no, I believe you. I believe you. You're the fountain of all wrestling knowledge, so I wouldn't distrust you on that for anything. Speaking of the
So
big
the
five,
next,
I was going to
yep.
say, speaking
So
of the
the
big
next
five. Oh, sorry, dude. Go on, you go ahead.
Oh,
You go ahead. Sorry, carry on.
okay, so the next match in the card that I know on title match between Finn and Balor, who's the Demon up against Triple M champion Dominic Mysterio straight singles. There's no Triple M title on the line, but I think Finn Balor, because he's the Demon and cause it's a revenge match, gets the victory because Omni is kinda trying to back his way out the match because like he said to Adam Pearce that Finn told him that the demon was dead and he's coming up with all of these excuses about how not to face the demon and the demon and stuff, but as I've said, it's a revenge match, so Finn Balor gets the victory here. I don't know about you, Sean, so let's hear your opinion.
Yeah, once again, I agree with you, mate. The demon has to win. There's no point bringing him back unless he wins. The
Yeah,
only disappointment for me is that they advertised it ahead of time. I know, there's the whole the demon's going to sell more tickets. In the grand
yeah,
scheme, I think he's going to sell that many more tickets. To be honest with you, I would have thought it would have been great if they just had used normal Balor and Dominic just go at it for a few weeks. Maybe then you could have had, say, like a brutal beatdown like the Raw before WrestleMania on
yeah.
Finn, which then just unlocks the demon again, kind of thing, and then you don't really know who's going to turn up, and then you get the boom, 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 and it's like, oh shit, the demon's back after 3 years, I think it is. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, but I'm still looking forward to seeing the demon, even though the last two matches as the demon he's lost. But I mean, I think he's got to win this because it will then finally cement the fact that Finn is completely gone from the Judgment Day, and then you can hopefully get him back on track because he's sort of been floundering for so long, Finn Balor in the Judgment Day, and he's kind of been a bit part. He's not really been the leader. I think you can safely say that's between Dominic and Liv, who really are the leaders of the Judgment Day
He
now.
should he should kind of be he's still revolving around to the main events or
Yeah,
upper mid card
yeah,
level as opposed to being what he is right now. So hopefully they elevate him a bit because he's
yeah,
still got a bit to offer. To be honest, but we'll have to wait
yeah.
and see. But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. Van Balor or be um could still have the potential to be in the world title whole scene.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him and CM Punk at some point have another match. Maybe it's a babyface versus babyface match. It's say like a SummerSlam. Just a straight babyface versus babyface match this time because it's been a while since they've done that for a SummerSlam. And I think that type of match actually works better for SummerSlam. To be honest, but
Hmm.
I'm just probably rambling in here. I
God.
don't know what you think about that.
Well, I've got a sort of I've got a thing that I can say about that a bit later because I'll leave that till after we've talked about the main event.
Yeah, so obviously Jade Cargill up against Rhea Ripley for the WWE version of the Women's Championship. Jade Cargill has a grand total only untitled defense to aim since actually beating Tiffany Stratton, so not a very good uh, title reign here. I don't necessarily hit the Eamon Jade here. But then you've got Rhea Ripley, who's one of the most over stars in the company. But like as well to offset that, they've given Jade EFAB and Chin as a heel for action, so maybe as an out they do a relief and they can get those two involved in the decision and it gives Jade Cargill and then Rhea gets a rematch at back Ash and eats up for the back. Ash, so I'm going for Jade Carg out to retain here. I don't know about you, Sean.
Yeah, I'm going with Jade to retain. I don't. I think Rhea. I mean, it'd be weird if Rhea won because then she'd have to be on SmackDown, which isn't outside the realms of possibility. But I think she still has some unfinished business with a certain someone who's been omitted from this card, and it's a disgrace. That being Io Sky, considering
Yeah,
she was champion going into last year's WrestleMania and then and then retained the title. Somehow they can't fit her on the card, and yet they can still fit people like fucking I Show Speed on it. So yeah, I think Jade retains. I think there's shenanigans. There's a bit of a kooky theory that I agree with Monster on that I saw him talking about, where you could potentially
yeah.
see your favourite boring Bianca come back, and
Oh,
you th- you th- you think you think
see,
you think she's going to
see,
come back and help Rhea, but then she cost Rhea because
I
she was the
think,
one who injured her
I
last year.
think I think that'll be for SummerSlam, to be honest,
Yeah,
because they'll need a big marquee match for SummerSlam, maybe.
yeah.
So maybe that could be the match for SummerSlam. But yeah, Jesus, Oren Bianca, I hasn't she turned heel yet?
Well,
Have
this
they
is what I'm
not
saying.
earned from
This
the John Cena push? It's like she's the female John Cena. Yes, on her heel at some point before 25th. It would be, it would be interesting to see because I'm so sick of the same sort of cookie cutter bull. Shit, it's the same character since NXT.
Well, this is what I'm saying, mate. I think if she comes back, she kind of goes heel and costs Rhea because her and
Yeah,
Jade are like on the same page. Like they're obviously Jade has turned heel since Bianca's been out, but they've
yeah,
not really had really a problem with each other. And the match that she got injured in, was with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. So there could be a thing where she goes, "Yeah, you took a year out of my career. I'm after you next," kind of thing. But if she doesn't, I still think Jade retains because they need to sort of propel her that reign a little bit more. I think there's more stuff you can then do back on Raw with Rhea maybe going after Becky Lynch for the IC title. That would be an interesting feud. There's still stuff with her and Io because remember she still hasn't beaten Io Sky yet in a one-on-one match, so there could be a little bit of dissension there maybe built up because I don't think they're going to stay best buddies for very long.
Yeah.
And I think Rhea makes a better heel than a face, but then she's so over, I can't see them turning heel soon. So maybe a lot later down the line. Yeah, so I think Jade retains, to be honest, the
Yeah,
match has been crap.
and yeah, and to answer Harry's question, she has defended it on time against Jordan
Yeah,
Grace and SmackDown, but that was just after the that was just after the Royal Rumble. Oh, if you remember, because obviously even Dominic or inside to if the Valentine's Day and you had or Kel inside if
yeah,
you remember. And that's kind of the only defense she's had. She's came up against Elsie Green and Alba Fire, but the title wasn't on the line, so that was her only title defense until this week ends.
yeah,
So yeah, so yeah, so yeah, not the best. So not the best situation, and
yeah.
I
Plus,
think that,
sorry, mate.
and I think that's kind of why she's got her own entourage to kind of get out of that heat in a sense. So
Yeah,
yeah, that I put a bit more heat on her. We'll have to see, but yeah,
yeah. Plus, I think depending on how they go with Charlotte and Alexa, I think Charlotte could be going for Jade next. You know what I mean? She's been out of the title picture
yeah,
for quite a while, Charlotte standards. So yeah, I think if they or you could have like a sort of triple threat situation going with them. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's still more people that Jade can be put against. But I also can kind of understand why they put her in a faction because she's still not great in the ring. I think she still needs a bit of cover from people. So and I think
yeah,
Charlotte, personal feelings aside about all her pushes over the years, she can carry Jade in a match quite easily. So I think there's
yeah.
potential there at SummerSlam or before.
And I don't need to even look at Wikipedia anymore because we're at the final match in the card.
Yeah,
So it's Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the WWE World title. And if you haven't voted in the poll, guys, vote in the poll. Do you think the Rock will appear at WrestleMania type on in the chat for yes, type 2 in the chat if no type 3 if unsure. So there's 4 people in the chat, so get voting. I'm going with CM Punk to retain with the caveat of my favourite wrestler of all time, the Rock interfering because, as I've said, the Sean Aston, I think that's a match for Saudi Arabia.
yeah. I think CM Punk also retains, but not via The Rock because they've basically got their their Temu Rock with Pat McAfee. But I think there's going to be a big swerve coming, and I think CM Punk turns heel. I think we've been waiting long enough now for a CM Punk heel turn, and I think his promo on Raw, the last one, where he was it was a bit of a, it kind of reminded me of the WrestleMania 17 with Austin and Rock, where Austin's like, I have to beat you, Rock, I have to, and Punk kind of had a bit of a solemn look in his eyes in that promo. He was kind of like, tell me when I'm telling lies. I hate you because I basically envy you. And Roman kind of said the same thing, but he was more kind of assured. He was like, no, I'm going to smash you, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it would, if they're going to do a swerve, I think see corporate man Punk at the top of the card, and he's there every week. I can't see them doing another part-time Roman Reigns title reign. He's got his stuff with Street Fighter and all that going on now.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to come back again until, I don't know, maybe whatever the pay-per-view is now between Backlash and SummerSlam. I'm not sure. I think...
Is that not going to be Till Ash and Ittle?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Punk gets desperate, realizes he can't actually beat Roman. McAfee comes in thinking, oh shit, right, he's going to cost Punk the match after all this, spurting about Punk and all this crap, and then he'll end up helping him out. And then that's just my kooky theory, because I think it's too obvious to have him help Reigns win, or have The Rock come in and help and interfere and all this sort of stuff. The Rock's already said, I'm buggering off now. I was in Las Vegas. It's my daughter's birthday. I'm going home. So I just
fuck. Oh my God! I want my all-time favorite to return. One of these days, I'm going to get my Ash, because he was rumoured to appear at Killer Ash at the Castle Scotland, but then get cold feet, and he's get cold feet several times now. So, it's not me. It's not meant to be us.
I don't think so.
I know, Sean absolutely he detests him, and now that for me, and to me, he's like the Hogan of match generation. Like I told you, last night. To be honest, and I'm probably sounding like a bit of a dingbat when I say that.
No, and like I've said to you many times, I love the Rock character. I love the final boss. I love Hollywood Rock. I just think Dwayne in the last few years, especially last year, where he started the whole, Cody, you're going to sell your soul to me. And then, you had John Cena turn heel, and you think, oh shit, right, we're going to have like a Hollywood superpowers kind of group going on. And then he just buggers off. And then he's like, oh no, I don't want to get involved with that anymore. That's not up to me. That's down to Triple H, basically. So yeah, I don't think his heart's really in it anymore, to be honest. He's got, especially now when he got nominated for the Smashing Machine, he's going properly back into acting. That's where his thing is right now. And I mean, I could be wrong, and I would take Dwayne over fucking Pat McAfee any day of the week, trust me. But I just can't see it. I think Ari Emanuel has handpicked Pat McAfee and gone, right, basically just cosplay as the final boss, it'll be fine, which is really annoying. But I think CM Punk
I mean, for me, in a sense, no matter how many movies he makes, because he was the guy that got me into wrestling in a sense, because I've told you this umpteen times on the channel, and I've told my story umpteen times on this channel. Him and Austin were the two that kind of got me into the wrestling.
Yeah.
They could maybe throw when the likes of Undertaker and Kurt Angle and Triple H and as well. So that is kind of my first era, and he
Yeah,
and the Rock is still a big part of it.
yeah,
Is still a big part of that because I've been watching now for over 26 years. I've got loads of merchandise behind me, as you can probably see. Um, so yeah, he was a major part of my journey as a wrestling fan starting off. So like, see when I say I sell the rods out my back for or an appearance, I truly do mean that because I do owe that guy that though, because he helped me start off my journey, and that's why I'm so vocal and wanting a return. Has he been a bit of a back in recent years? Absolutely. Hey, but like, I'm not gonna and every time I see him, I'm still that 5-year-old kid that and to the repeating into the pizza of down in Sky on a Saturday morning. Um, even so, yeah, so that is what I am so vocal about wanting a rock return. I know Sean's a bit different now, but like if it wasn't for the rock, I probably wouldn't even wanted to go to Ash at the castle a couple of years ago. Oh, it was him that started off my journey all those years ago. So that is what I say. Is stuff like that. Taking it's not for it's not for the sake of sensationalism. It's because I truly do mean it.
oh yeah, mate, I totally agree. And like I said, like the
Yeah,
Rock character is one of the greatest of all time. He was like the Rock and Austin, Undertaker, particularly for me. I think Undertaker's my all-time favorite, but Austin and Rock were instrumental in you
yeah,
know in the Attitude Era. Do you know what I mean? And the final boss character where he kind of did a hybrid of himself and the Hollywood Rock character. I
yeah,
think that was a stroke of genius, and I'm so glad they did that rather than do like a face Rock and a heel Reigns because that just I don't think
yeah,
anyone really did that. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I totally get it. I just from a logical perspective and from what he sort of like how he's behaved in the last year, especially last year when he was the one who instigated the whole John Cena heel turn in the first place, and then just suddenly just
yeah, yeah.
distant.
Yeah, I have to admit, it did piss me off. Yeah, but like, there's also that other side to me that's come
Yeah,
out
of course.
here again. That always seems to come out every time I get you on stream. I don't know why that is. It's always every time you're on it comes out.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment. But it's the
Mhm.
same for me. I love talking wrestling, especially with you because you've got such a burning passion for it, and there's part of me that still does as well. Hence why I suggested we did this in the first place, this stream, because I get that it's to say Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. No matter how bad the product is leading up to it, as soon as it comes along, like me and Harry spoke like months ago, like, right, what are you doing for WrestleMania? And I'm like, right, let's do this because it's an event. No matter how like crap the booking is,
Yeah.
it's still an event, and it still goes back to when you watched it as a kid. So I can totally see where you're coming from. I
Yeah,
just don't think he's going to turn
and
up.
you get, but I still tune into like your Oz and Act
Yeah,
Hounds and NXTs. I'm even watching JCW when I say that. I mean, they have a pay-per-view on tonight that'll catch up on during the week. The Strangle Mania
Strand.
show you
Yeah,
probably seen it. You've probably seen it advertised
yeah,
without actually realising you have the general up their episodes every Thursday on the Psychopathic Records YouTube channel. I'm constantly always telling and
I
and
did watch some of it. I have seen it. I actually watched a bit recently, and it's gonna be one of those growers because it's very how can I put this? Like the first like 10 minutes is just a recap of last week's episode.
yeah,
But I mean, there's some interesting characters in there. I think there's a character. I don't know if this is going to affect your stream or not, but there's a character named after a drug. Shall we put it that way?
yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
sprays out like all the powder over the crowd. It's like okay, it's kind of ECW
Yeah,
like.
the reason why they had to change the character is because he was at Balloon for a bit because of the lawsuit with WWE and of him being the Balloon character.
Right,
It infringed on the
right,
Kane character trademark because it's the same because it was the same attire but different colour.
right.
Um,
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
that's for why he's he's that character. I can't
Right,
actually say it in YouTube, but we'll say we'll say well I say substance
yeah,
to get away
yeah,
with it. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, you know what I mean. So
yeah.
but yeah, my favourite moment is that Eddie Orton guy. Uh,
Oh, right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Eddie Orton's my
Cool. Yeah,
my favourite because he's pretty good, but also Caleb Connolly's good as well. Uh,
right.
Caleb Connolly is good as well. You see a pattern here on my favourites. Heel characters as usual. Um, I've also been, I've also, I've also been going back through the early 2000s pay-per-views. So the last
Yeah,
WWE pay-per-view I rewatched was the Unforgiven 2003 pay-per-view. That was yesterday. The Shining Kane asthma and standing match is actually excellent, and
yeah,
I enjoy that. I enjoy that match because that's where Ian's back to being the lunatic
yeah,
character and I like him and he's a lot more psycho to be honest.
yeah. Yeah, no, we were talking about this on Twitter, weren't we? I was like, overall, I wasn't a huge fan of Kane being unmasked, but for those first few
Yeah,
months where it was, and they were just treating him like a complete psycho again. You know, he was coming to the ring with
yeah,
like the orderlies with the handcuffs, and he had like the towel over his head.
yeah,
You know, fucking setting people on fire and electrocuting balls and all the rest of it. So and like
yeah,
Linda McMahon on the stage and all that. That was great.
yeah.
It was the corporate Kane stuff I didn't like.
The Triple H stuff's a bit sort of iffy when you get to 2003, because it's every time it's interference by Rick Flair here
Yeah,
in the outside, and it's
yeah,
like, fuck. often let him actually wrestle rather than having him take the
Yeah,
heels,
yeah. I think
heels
that was
way
like
out.
yeah, because that was leading up to Evolution, wasn't it? So like
Yeah,
Ric Flair was like the first of the Evolution lot
yeah,
join. Eventually, you got the rest of them. I'm just going to get a drink. I'll be right back.
yeah. Oh, yeah, but that you get, but that's basically what I've been doing recently. Guys, when I've been off air, on the channel, I've been going through the paper of views year by year, and I'm not actually sure what the next pay-per-view is after Unforgiven. Is it no? I'll say somebody tell me
Yeah,
in the chat. Somebody tell me in the chat. I don't know else. The next three watch because I'm doing them all in all. I'm doing them all. I'm doing them all in order, or as they were released because I've been doing it.
mm,
Because I've been going through them year by year since Christmas. I started
yeah.
off with the nine. I started off with the 1999 pay-per-view just before or I got into the and so I watched all the 99 shows. Rewatched 2000. 2000, I don't think that there's a bad pay-per-view
Yeah,
in there,
2000.
to be honest. 2001 is okay, up until then it was pear-shaped with the Irons and WCW stuff. I enjoyed the first five pay-per-views. Oh, two, there's still a bit of a
Yeah.
hangover from the invasion angle being a disaster. There is still some good pay-per-views in there. I did enjoy SummerSlam 2002.
Oh, so good. That's one
Yeah,
of my favorite pay per views, man. That was amazing pay per view.
yeah.
Triple
And
H and
you get,
Michaels. Oh, fuck me.
because um, because every single match could go. I thought
Yeah,
basically, even the un-Americans versus Booker T and Goldust
yeah,
is a good match on
yeah,
there, and you're thinking, right, this'll be the shite match
yeah.
uh, in the card, and you're like, oh, I need to eat some humble pie. I know there's not a bad match on that card at all, but
Yeah,
I know the around 2002 is a hush. Though that's the one where there's only one info animation Hulk
yeah,
art, and that was during the semi-finals of the tournament um, where RVD beats Jericho to open up the show. The rest of the match was all heel, sort of
yeah,
sort of cheating finishes, and you're like, this is pish. Uh, I did own this on DVD at one point
yeah.
because this is pish, and
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the when you were talking about Unforgiven, I'm pretty sure it's No Mercy because I always remember Unforgiven being
yeah,
in September and No Mercy being in October. So I'm pretty
yeah.
sure No Mercy was next. Was that the ambulance match or is it the other way around? I can't remember.
That's the I think that's the ambulance match because
Right.
the next one on after no Mercy's Survivor
Yeah.
series match where the biker taker gets killed off of here
Yeah.
and Ember and the buried alive match with Vince because obviously Ian as in the JCB, and
Yeah,
he dumps him out a dirt, he dumps him out a dirt on take or and you
yeah,
don't hear from Taker till the odd sort of haunting
yeah,
again during Armageddon where it's a triple threat match between uh, Triple H, Goldberg, and Kane for the world title and then you hear Taker's music and it
yeah.
sets up the eventual WrestleMania match. Um,
Yeah. I liked
but yeah,
the on Raw how they sort of teased the dead man coming back in different ways. Like one
yeah.
week it was like the ring was sort of moving, the next week it was like rain and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that. I actually scared the shit out of me as a kid. I thought it was scary as shit, man, as a kid.
Mate, and I'm I know like I liked a bit of Big Evil, but I was never really a big fan of the biker gimmick. So as soon as Kane
That's
buried it,
actually.
yes, finally coming back.
That's actually my favourite version. I know it's controversial, and I know, that's something me and you argue but till the end of time. But yeah,
Yeah, so like I can understand on like Mark Calloway's reasoning for it because he wanted to change it up. He wanted to be more like himself. He could be a bit more free on the mic and stuff. But nah, dead man all the way, man. There's no
yeah,
question.
like,
Dead.
but the eventual sort of, the eventual sort of match itself with Ian at WrestleMania 20 was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it was
No, to
rubbish.
be
It was
honest, it was a
rubbish.
bit pissed, to
Yeah,
be honest. If you, there's actually three reasons why I tuned into that pay-per-view. Originally, Eddie versus Eddie versus Angle,
yeah,
because I wanted to see Eddie retain against Angle. A
yeah,
certain disgrace to wrestle or get his home in, although I
mm.
do feel like a piece of shit for on that back in the day because of
mate,
what happened. But yeah,
mate.
because
Like, hindsight's
he
a
was
wonderful
my
thing.
guy at one point,
Yeah,
and he was my guy, and he was my guy, and I feel like a piece of shit at times for
no, mate.
that.
The day, no one was ever to know what he was going to do.
Yeah,
So don't worry, don't feel bad about that because
yeah,
retrospectively you can be like, oh shit, but at the time, yeah, no one ever suspected
yeah,
anything was going to happen. So
yeah.
yeah, don't be too hard on yourself about that, mate.
Him and Eddie were him and Eddie were my two guys at the
Yeah,
time, 'cause like I was, as I was kind of getting fed up with Triple H at that
uh,
point, 'cause it was just cheap to win every single
yeah,
paper of you. It's like fuck off, can we do something different? And, uh,
yeah. Well, apart from the match with Booker T at WrestleMania, where he
oh,
like
don't even go there. That, that, that actually pissed me off on my rewatch
yeah,
of that, because obviously I've been rewatching every pay-per-view. Like, he
yeah,
should have won and over
yeah,
because I remember that pay-per-view. Because remember in the build-up, Triple H was like, people like
yeah,
who don't get to be champion,
yeah.
and so you're like that. Yeah, has already says him, so now how
Yeah.
he's got to, so now, so now, logically, he's speaking, I think, and he should actually beat Triple H here, and there's about 20 seconds after the pedigree.
Oh, that was the worst
That
bit. That was
was,
it. It was like rubbing salt in the wound because, like, the amount of times
yeah,
you've seen people kick out after there's been a delay in the from the
yeah.
finish to the pin. You think, oh, he's going to kick out. He's like, no, he doesn't. It's just like that was like the ultimate burial from Triple H at that point. He was at the height of like the reign of terror.
Yeah, like, and also the Scots thing, also the Scots thing, or Triple H feud, that really did annoy me as well. I do actually prefer the SmackDown side because you've got a lot better in the
Yeah,
SmackDown side because you've got Undertaker, you've got Edge, you've got
yeah,
Lesnar, you've got the Mysterio, you've got a different sort of show. Oh, as opposed to
yeah,
the Raw side to where everything's centered around the on championship. And remember they retired to the IC title
mm,
only to bring that back 2 months later. They
yeah,
should have never retired that hell in the first
yeah.
place.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like they did the brand split, and then they thought, "Oh, we haven't got enough people to like fight over the IC title." Even though the whole point of doing the brand split is because there's too
Yeah.
many people to do one show. So yeah, that was bizarre. So thankfully they retconned that. But oh my god, the Triple H Steiner feud was so bad. It was so bad. It was basically, oh, who's got the bigger muscles? You know what I mean? It's like Steiner should have been heel
Yeah,
anyway.
Holsteiner should have never came in as a face either.
Exactly.
Um, no. Oh, because his heel run in WCW was spot on, and his
Yeah,
mama, just WCW is a shit show between like 898 and like 2000 to the whole of 2000 to WCW did that actually build up Scott Steiner like
yeah,
perfectly. It was the only thing WCW could actually actually right to
yeah,
be honest. And as soon as he debuts at Survivor Series or two, he attacks Mum Hardy and that runs he
yeah,
I and like he's and you're like Steiner's supposed to be a heel. How did
yeah.
you just debut him as a baby face? It makes no sense.
No, I think they were because I don't think they hadn't sort of like sorted out Goldberg's deal just yet. So I think they were trying to like make Steiner like the new Goldberg in case they couldn't get him, and so it
Yeah,
was and they couldn't think of like anyone else who was like strong enough to
yeah,
go against Triple H at the time. But it's like anyone they bring in from WCW is, as has been proven even recently back at Mania, I don't know, 35, whatever it was with Sting and Triple H, you're never going to get the
yeah,
whole
31.
31. There we go. I was a bit off there. You're never going to get like they were so petty when it came to like WCW stars going over WWE stars. It just wasn't happening on Vince's watch. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the matches were just piss poor, man. So bad.
Like in the match itself, I thought it was okay. It was just to the wrong guy actually on the feud. It's
Yeah,
like but yeah, I did actually want to see Undertaker versus Sting, because that
yeah,
was the reason, why I bought 2K15 that year, because I wanted to do that match, because I thought, right, there's an opportunity to actually bring Stinger and to give me to give me that dream I'm actually
Yeah,
ever happened to do. It's like, I did that. No, what happened? It just still pisses me off till that day that we never got that match.
yeah, me too. I mean, I think it would have been. I think it was about 10 years too late anyway. Even if they were going to do
Yeah,
it, then I think you needed to have the streak still intact.
yeah.
And I think after I would say WrestleMania 28, I think. Well, actually, no, I'll tell a lie. I'd say the match with Punk at WrestleMania 29 for me was the last good Undertaker match.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't. They just wasted so
That's
much time with the thing as well. Do you know what I mean? It was just
yeah,
like,
and you get but that CM Punk one at WrestleMania 29 is the only good WrestleMania 29
yeah,
match on the
true.
yeah because it's a shit hard to do. Oh,
Oh man,
because remember I binged to watched every WrestleMania up until another member actually into the WrestleMania 29 and I'm like Sean only kill me. To be honest because it took me 3 attempts to sit down and actually watch
oh,
the full show and it's like oh, he's just into me. He to be on.
yeah. Show me mercy. Oh god. Yeah, I don't. I literally that and the main event, which was compared to 28 with Rock and Cena, was so bad. It was terrible, man.
It's just, it's just spam a
Yeah,
robot on people's elbow.
yeah, yeah, and yeah. So I bet that's the thing. I barely remember anything about that either. So you're well in your rights to feel aggrieved with sitting through that one again. The thing is,
And
it's like
then you've got, and then you've got Mark Henry versus Ryback, where Henry just alls on top of Ryback and gets a bit. And it's like, what the hell are you doing?
no. I mean, they had potential with right back. They were trying to make him like the next Goldberg kind of thing, and he was getting over quite a bit. And then all of a sudden, they just decided, actually, no, we hate you now. Do you know what I mean? It was weird.
Well, Hell in a Cell 2012 actually, ultimate
Yeah.
no, sense so, because that bullshit finished with that Alex guy. I is a
Oh yeah.
referee. You
Yeah.
know, that
Oh
horrible
god.
match
I
only.
forgot about that.
Actually, I actually stayed up both. I actually stayed up both. On a school night to actually watch and you get to the main event and it's only like 3 minutes long and it's like Jesus Christ to just put the golden shovel in his
Yeah.
oh, to be honest because at that point I didn't really hear about Ryback after that because that is where that character just ended from
Yeah.
me to be honest.
Yeah, no, it was a weird situation because then he basically just got buried. Was it the Nexus that ended up just burying him or whatever it was, or Punk? I know he got into.
Where's the she?
Oh, it was the Shield,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah,
the
Shield. Yeah,
shield.
yeah,
Yeah, because at some point you were like, alright, so the shield are kinda tied to a CM Punk, and
yeah,
it's like, no, they were, no, they weren't in the end, but that was the original idea, and they just swerved everybody, because the
yeah,
original idea was supposed to be Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and as hero
Yeah,
wasn't supposed to be Roman Reigns, but
yeah,
he shot down he shot down Hero, and they said you're adding Roman Reigns, and the rest of it was just executed very poorly. Oh, because at one point they were like tied to CM Punk and like
yeah,
unfair, or they are doing our own separate thing. It's like, oh, you've told us that that you're CM Punk's henchman, and so can you just stick to uh,
yeah, exactly. And it's sort of
that?
they're trying to sort of retcon that back now with the CM Punk Roman Reigns feud, where he's like, "Oh, I brought you in." It's like, well, didn't really. You
Yeah.
didn't technically. You didn't bring Roman in. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a bit of revisionist history there going on.
Yeah, like I hate when they do that because it's like the bell is as well. Oh, we paid to the way for Stephanie. Yeah, and it's like, no, you didn't. Trish,
No.
the artist, and Molly, Holly did more than you.
Yeah,
Who's ever did? Because you were basically either stepped up onto some so easy scumbag, but his people won't get it. And
yeah,
Eh, eh, and and then you were so heaping with if John's and the other one
yeah.
and had Daniel Bryan, so that's hard to empower me and if you really think about it at all, is it?
No, no, yeah, that really does piss me off because it's like every time that when they brought Nikki Bella back, everyone's just glazing over her. It's like talent that are actually much, much better than she is, and if anything, AJ Lee was the one who kind of paved the way rather than fucking Nikki Bella. Let's not get it straight. Let's not get it.
I'm
Let's get
saying
this. You know what I mean?
I
Ridiculous.
made them say trust the artist and like oh he wholly did
Oh
even
yeah, earlier.
more than AJ though to be honest though they were like the founders of the 21st century women's division. AJ just held to the thoracic hierarchy all for like AJ. Is that title designs hideous by
Yeah.
the by the
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with Molly and Trish. Like going back even further, I meant like around that time when the Bellas
yeah
were a thing, and then obviously you had AJ, and I'm not AJ Lee's biggest fan by any means, but I mean,
yeah
AJ Lee dropped that kind of her own pipe bomb and basically tore out the fucking old like divas crap as being crap, which it was, and then you have then you've got the four horsewomen who went even further with it, and arguably they were the
yeah.
ones. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it was a strange time.
Yeah, right, and and basically that's what I always were, I mean, not hired to be, basically kind of satisfied that so easy scumbag,
Yeah,
because James Hero actually said to that and on the first videos just recently, if you
yeah,
kind of keep an eye on his chat. I know
yeah,
he kinda has said to that and he's an uphill odds, but yeah, that's
yeah,
kinda the reason why they were are all hired to or it should have happened to or as WWE should have kept a hold of you
yeah,
uh, um
yeah,
or rather than having her go to TNA, because she done some amazing things in TNA. She should have been the WWE's extra artist, but they didn't do anything for her to um, um, on the two separate stints with the company. They really should have. Um, they, they really should have anointed him as the next successor, but they
Yeah,
never did.
yeah, they teased it a bit, didn't they? But then, yeah, I don't know, for some
Yeah,
reason, because she was amazing, and the same with Mickey James, Victoria. I thought they again they were
yeah,
so,
they were good as well.
yeah, they sort of were like holding the company on their shoulders for a bit, but they kind of went under the radar quite a bit with management anyway. I know, like with the the wrestling fans in us, we can
Yeah.
sort of appreciate them at the time, but yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity for sure.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and you get like a keep one brief, one kitten on the day of the pioneers of that doesn't know
Yeah.
you, and it's the same of what happened to Shelby who on the 6 feet under podcast, and you're
Oh,
like,
not anymore.
and we hear Undertaker actually he tell his story because you were around for the majority of his career if you think about
Yeah,
it. No, because and it's like she's starting to tell Undertaker's career and she wasn't around
yeah,
for half of it, so it's kind of like shut up, sweetheart, and let them and talk or hear her or here for the Undertaker. I'm not here for a uh,
I think she's insufferable, mate. Like, I think the
yeah,
podcast he did when he was just doing it by himself and his mate. I can't remember his
yeah,
Cameron something. I can't remember his name, but
yeah,
he, he that was good because he could just shoot the shit and he could just be as real as he wanted to. But now it's so very corporate with like with the WWE version of it. And like you said, she was barely a part of his career. She was a blimp on the majority of his career. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
also, like this whole thing with her as well. It's like, okay, what was she most known for? What, being in Lake Hall? Oh, great! Somehow she's a bloody made of. She's in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, how? Because obviously because of who she's married to.
yeah. And yeah, the same could be said for Stephanie, although to a
Yeah,
certain although to a certain extent, though, well, she did to some real stuff like in the early part of her career.
yeah,
Wasn't until the authority stuff where everybody started hating her because she was insufferable. But but she
yeah,
was and I did a SmackDown GM and I did of Triple H and the McMahon Helmsley faction, but the authority just I would on that woman to be
yeah,
honest. It's like every segment she was so happy with
yeah,
like full. She even slapped the shades off Batista
yeah,
as well. Was like she was slapping everything, but then like yeah, I'm not your disgraced for either. You're Stephanie
yeah,
McMahon, and you have to be outed to you for father. You'll never be her, her father. So I are you so determined to get yourself over? She did to the same to Cody Rhodes a couple of weeks back on the
yeah,
road. Like, I don't really see the fascination of her getting herself over. She was already over her from the attitude era
yeah,
and ruthless aggression era. I don't really see what I from the authority on she basically she's on all the him and all the talent. I mean, it's like none. Oh, you need to let the talent actually get themselves over her.
yeah. No, and I think the whole authority thing was they were trying to sort of recreate the corporation and like the whole sort of
yeah,
the Attitude Era thing back then, and obviously it was a Temu version of it. Let's be honest,
yeah,
and I think obviously as Vince was distancing himself as an on-screen role, you've got his daughter as the natural successor. So I could see what they were trying to go for.
yeah,
It wasn't good. It didn't make it any good. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially it was like every Raw for like months was just opened up with a fucking half an hour authority promo, and it was either, if it wasn't Daniel Bryan, it was John Cena. If it wasn't John Cena, it was Roman Reigns. It just got so bad to the point where
yeah. That's kind
it
of
was go away heat at the end of it.
yeah. That's kind of what I was more a TNA fan back then. Do you remember I was telling you I
Yeah, yeah,
was more into TNA at that time? Because you had the Velvet Sky and Angelina. Oh, and all of that.
yeah.
I come more into these hot chicks, so I'm just going. I'm just
I don't blame you.
going over here for a while. You do whatever you do over there.
Yeah,
Over there, it's all good. But yeah, there was a wee bit I era I felt TNA was a lot, but
yeah,
having a lot more fun than what the WWE were. And to be honest, because used to they were pushing different people when you didn't
yeah,
have Stephanie hog all the TV time or anything. You had you, you had some excellent stuff with Austin Aries and Bobby
yeah,
the Hood, all of that. Whereas over there, you still had John even though I've kind of so often to my stance over the past couple of years, it was like, can we you have something to offer, and or else I'm going to jump over to on TNA for a bit, and that's exactly what I did, and that's how it ended up. And that's how I ended up at a lot at the shows at
hmm
ENA when they used to do the shows over here. Because I was, as I used to watch ENA, I just went and I used to go to the shows as well.
right.
I met Dixie Hart
Oh yeah,
Origin, she signed, she signed my event program. I've still got all my programs from TNA shows from back then. To me, to me, TNA back then is a bit tough. Or Doctor was only, it was only after the cut ties with Challenge that it got
yeah,
bad to be basically because that was the beginning and the end because that was so perfect time for the wrestling show Sunday night. Nobody was out on Sunday night. I and you have read so talk TV you on after it which I used to tune into every Sunday as well. I used to watch those two shows that I just so hate to be honest, and that kind of extended my passion for a while for so, and because if I had to just so he turned into WWE. I probably he would have tapped out during the authority. He stuffed, to be honest with you, so he's there was no alternative, and I've got an alternative again now with JCW. If I feel things are starting to go down the pan again, mm, I've got that alternative again, because sooner or later the WWE are going to put Archer's years when they're only purchase everybody. So I think as well we need to support like other companies as well that aren't in WWE umbrella, and AEW doesn't do it for me, as I've said, but JCW seems to be doing it for me at the moment because it's a bit different in terms of its story, and I know you don't like the recaps at the start of the show. Oh, but yeah, that's the only real job I call of that though for me personally, because you have a fully developed and you have a fully developed roster, and every character sort of different. To be honest on that show, and there's a lot of different stuff that happens on that show. To be honest, so I'm really enjoying it, and also NXT as well. I'm enjoying Sean. Like also has to be promoted to the main roster. Because he's a lot better than what Triple H is. He's a far better than Triple H, because Triple H ums and ahs all the time about certain feuds and
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas Shawn Michaels just decides this is the direction and we're on, and then often that's how that's how it's a better show than the main roster. Um, it is Triple H is like, oh, we'll hang back a bit and then we'll leave it. Is it this some other time? It's like, no, oh, strike with the iron's hot. So that's why I think Shawn Michaels should be promoted to the main roster, or to be honest, because he's a far better or head of creative, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. I mean, I think back in the black and gold days of NXT, I think Triple H was revered just as much as Michael is now. And then,
Mhm,
he gets promoted to the main roster, and it starts off well, but recently it's not
mhm.
been, not been great. So who knows? I mean, I hope the best for him, and I'm going to give JCW another go because there were certain things on there that are kind of look kind of interesting to me. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you updated. I've just got to be a bit more patient, I think.
Yeah, and the pissed up zombie, he's outbreak, as well. They've been stoned and they've been pissed up into of Tony's back. Aren't they there for on his work? But anyway, that comedy's a lot better than the Anhausen comedy gig. No, he's gonna have that interaction with John Cena. You can just
Yeah,
tell when it's going to be inch, but the interaction I want Cena to have is with Harpic, is
yeah,
I want him to offer the handshake, and like I want Gunther to say I don't shake hands to people that tap out like bitch
yeah,
easily whatever,
yeah,
instead of a but actions with L and to net for exit else up censoring it and people do the on
Yeah, ridiculous.
camera. Yeah,
It's ridiculous because it's like it's Netflix, so like it's not like it's on like daytime primetime TV. Do you know what I mean? It's like okay,
yeah,
much as Twat McAfee was a pain in the ass.
yeah,
Like, why were they blacking that? It was just stupid. It was just so.
yeah,
Dude, I've got to
yeah.
head off in a minute, mate, because I've got work in the morning and I really need a wee.
All
So
right, all right.
TMI.
So we're going to finish up anyway. So thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. It's been an honour having you on, Sean. Can you give me your can you give me your can you give me the channels that you promote and stuff like that before I end the stream, and you can catch me here for the or in the next review who's I might do a JC double video again because it's been a year since I have get round a video on that, but yeah, sure, on of my our channels and social media and whatever you want to actually put them. Oh,
Well, first of all, Daniel, thank you so much for having me on again, mate. I love these chats every single time. And actually, I was going to say, I'm so sorry it's been so long since the last one, but it's actually been quite. We haven't actually left as much of a gap since the last one. So hopefully, I can do a bit more of a
yeah,
regular thing. I know life and, fatherhood and work and like
yeah.
music in a way, bands and stuff. But I've really enjoyed this chat and hopefully we can do it again soon. And yeah, we'll see what WrestleMania holds, shall we? But yeah, the Nerdaholics channel is not very active anymore, but it's still there if you want to go and check out the archives. But my new channel, so what you're saying, me and Tom have sort of started up because the other guys and ourselves just haven't really been able to sort of coordinate videos on Nerdaholics anymore. So me and Tom started a new channel up called So What You're Saying. It's primarily about talking about all our favourite music and albums, but we do have other stuff on there as well. We talk about games, we talk about movies. There's the odd wrestling there as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, check us out. And and obviously like and subscribe Daniel's channel if you haven't already. And yeah,
yeah,
man,
and
look forward to seeing you
yeah,
again.
until to get his arse back on he's because I don't bite. I might be Scottish and I might be or a rumpy, but I don't bite. So tell him to get his arse back on stream.
Oh well, he goes through phases with WWE, as you know, where he'll like it and then he really won't.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of am similar, but I still get pulled back. Like Al Pacino says, they pull you back in. So, but yeah, no, he might be lurking. He might be lurking somewhere. So hi Tom. But yeah, no, we'll definitely do this again soon, man. It's been fun.
yeah, yeah. So thanks very much to everybody in the chat, and I'll see you all. Then I'll see you all for the next bit of content, and enjoy this mania chat and Sean, and I'll shut the streamer off now. So thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everyone.